Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to the mountains and taking some pictures of golden larches here and hopefully testing some of the new films I got in my bag, like the OptiColor 200. For 120 I got my Mamiya 7 with me, I got my Canon AE-1 with me with the 400mm lens and my standard 80mm lens for the Mamiya 7. So what we are going to do is the next couple of days we are traveling around this part of Switzerland. But as you see, we have snow here. The trees are already very golden and hopefully get some great pictures. So I got the OptiColor 200 with me. It's the first time I'm shooting it in 120. It's still a pre-production roll, so it's not the finished product that they're selling now. One of my big issues with 120 is that you should always have spare spool. Let's close it up. Set the ISO to 200. So what we're going to do is we're walking down here. I saw this lonely, almost lonely golden larch. So we found a spot here and there's just one tree there. Can't really see it on the screen, but on 25th of second at F11, that's about right. Shot. I'll just show the frame in a second.
The real problem on this trip all came down to light leaks, and there were two in particular that I need to tell you about. The first one happened with the Mamiya 7. One of those quirks with this camera, at least with my unit, is that the backing paper doesn't always wind tight enough around the spool. It's one of those things that you don't think about until it's too late. But that was just one of the many things that was happened during the trip.
2 shots, lock it up. So one shot, as I mentioned, is here, and the other one is just that framing that we have. And I also took some shots with the 400mm Canon, but I still had a roll of Delta 400 in it. We're gonna see a black and white version of it. So we're going back to the car because we got a little bit of a way ahead of us and we don't want to shoot all of our film at this particular location. Hopefully we get more beautiful and insane views like this one. I just lost the microphone somewhere. Hopefully I'm gonna find it. This looks like a beautiful spot. It's just going up here. I somehow lost my microphone that was on my jacket, so hopefully we're gonna find that on our way back. I don't know when I lost it, but I'm switching to front view. It could be anywhere here in the snow. So guys, update, it doesn't look like I can find the microphone anywhere. So for the rest of the trip, I'm gonna try out if the microphone on the Osmo Pocket is as good as the wireless one. Sorry in advance if the microphone quality drops, but it is what it is.
I finally arrived at St. Moritz, and the original plan was to catch the golden autumn glow. But due to my schedule, I couldn't take time off earlier. And by the time I finally made it here, the snow had already settled across the entire valley. I'm talking white everywhere. Roads, rooftops, the surrounding peaks, all covered in snow. This was not at all what I had in mind. I had a very specific vision, and this was the complete opposite. But what else was I gonna do? Give up? Turn around and go home? Certainly not. I made the best out of it and worked with what I had. But first I had to set up the camp, get sorted and figure out the game plan for the next day. Let me tell you about the gear I brought with me. The main two cameras for this trip was the Mamiya 7 with the 80mm lens and my trusty Canon AE-1 with the standard 50mm f1.8. And I also brought the Sigma 400mm with me, which you probably know from my bird photography video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it somewhere here around the screen and down below in the description. Definitely worth a watch if you're into wildlife or nature photography. As for film, I brought 2 rolls of OptiColor 200, a roll of the original Harman Phoenix and 1 roll of my precious Fujifilm Pro 400H. That stuff is getting harder and harder to find, so I was really careful with it from the moment I packed it. The original Harman Phoenix was actually a solid choice for the snowy environment. It handled the cold and the high contrast really well.
Good morning everyone. So we are on a bike now from our campground to St. Moritz. I found the first shot of the day. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to take a shot with the Canon AE-1 50mm. It says f4 at ISO 100 at 1/50th of a second. And I like the steamy water here. I'm trying to include ridge here. Larches, the tiny lake outside of St. Moritz. It's beautiful sunshine today. I got the Mamiya 7 loaded with the OptiColor 200 in it, and in my Canon AE-1 got the Phoenix 200. Almost no people. I already took a picture of the house on the lake and the mist on the lake, and I think I'm sticking today to the OptiColor 200. Got 2 rolls of them here and I'm already at frame 8. When I finish this roll, I'm gonna load another roll of OptiColor 200 in. I switched to Hector 100 because it's a beautiful day today and ISO 100 is perfectly fine. I took a couple of shots here of the lake with the mountains in the background. Also tried to do some detail shots of the ice. Hopefully Hector and the Mamiya 7 give some wonderful results from here. I'm really stoked to be here. Hopefully I can finish everything I wanted before the crowd arrives.
To get around St. Moritz and the surrounding area, I brought my e-bike with me. It seemed like the perfect solution. I'll be able to cover more ground without wearing myself out before sunset. But with all the snow and most of the bike-friendly paths were closed or completely buried under the snow, and I'm not talking about a little dusting here or there, we're talking about proper winter conditions, the kind where you question every life choice that led you to this point. But the real problems started when I loaded up the Pro 400H into the Canon. That's where things got interesting from that point on.
Switching to the Fuji Pro 400 on the Canon AE-1.
A lot of the times I was pushing the bike through ice and deep snow, fighting to stay upright. And trying to keep the bike under control in those conditions was the most exhausting part of my entire day. Legs burning, hands frozen, and I was seriously questioning what I was doing out here. But looking back, my biggest stroke of luck was the weather. It was perfect. Not a single cloud in the sky the entire time I was there. Crystal clear air, sharp winter light, no wind at all. As I said, perfect conditions for a 200 speed film. I couldn't have asked for better light. It almost made up for the snow and the hardship of getting around. Almost. I started packing up the very next morning and headed back home. I really enjoyed my time at the last lake. It was partially covered by ice, silence and cold air, and the last stop before going home. So time to finish all the rolls. I was lucky I arrived just in time. The sun dipped behind the steep mountains just after I finished the last frame on the final roll. had just enough time to quickly walk along the lake and take a few shots before the light completely disappeared. It was one of those moments where everything just felt right. After I finished the last roll, I quickly packed up all my things and headed back to the car. And I was absolutely convinced that I had rewound the film back into the canister on the Canon AE-1. Well, it turns out I was wrong. I opened the back up and exposed the entire film to daylight, thus leading to the light leaks you see now. It's not the end of the world looking at the results now, but in that moment I felt terrible. All that effort and I didn't check if the film was properly rewound. I really need to make a video about common mistakes to avoid in film photography, at least for my own sake. Maybe it will save someone else from making the same mistakes as I did. So let this be a warning to all of you. Always double check that your film is properly rewound before you open the back of your camera. The results can be devastating, but I got lucky here, and in my case it turned out mostly fine. In an age where every image online looks perfect and people are increasingly calling them out as AI generated slop, I think imperfect images are somehow better. They have a sincerity to them and they leave room for the unexpected. So I leave you with this conclusion: the best images are sometimes the ones that almost didn't happen.